RIM TV coverage of the 2015 RIMS conference is brought to you by Inform Applications. We had the opportunity to speak with Pat Gallagher, CEO of Arthur J. Gallagher, during the annual RIMS conference in New Orleans last week. Here he discusses the top issues facing risk managers today, cyber risk, healthcare legislation and more. Here are the highlights.
A decade ago when we came to RIMS, it was all about enterprise risk management. What is it? How do you define it? How do you go about it? What have you? And that today is table stakes. You know, everybody has enterprise risk management in one form or another. They're attending to that. And I think that's still very critical to be doing that, to be looking at risk in a broader context, not something just about what's insurable or not, but the true risk that face the organization. But to me, the number one thing that should be at the top of that list today is cyber. And cyber is very much of an evolving situation. And it can be anything from being hacked to just having information escape. And how you deal with that, there's some insurance available, but probably not the insurance that specifically fits every single industry. And to me, that is really critical for any organization to be getting their head around what could be happening to the data that we've got, how could it escape the confines that we're trying to hold it, and what can we do to manage that risk? Well, I think the whole concept of data and where we are, you know, there's been more data created in the last 3 years than probably since the start of time with human beings. And what we do with that is, as one person said, there's a lot of data, I'm not so sure there's that much information. But taking that data and getting it into a usable set of directive tools is incredibly important, and in particular as it revolves around claim work. And the whole RMIS information concept is just going to become broader and broader and bigger, and how you sort through that, helping your customers sort through that, and then using it for predictive modeling to be sure that in the claims world, you know, 98% of the claims just go through pretty seamlessly, but it's 2% that catch it. And if you're not on top of that 2%, your outcomes can be a disaster. And that's really where I think people are focusing, and it's going to just become more and more critical. How the changes in legislation, particularly in the United States, around healthcare, how that's impacting our clients. And I'm glad you asked the question around not just healthcare, but workers' compensation and HR. When you step back and look at what our clients need, it's not about what are we going to do for their health and welfare, and what are we going to do about their workers' compensation, and what are we going to do. It really is, what is it going to do, what does it take to help you find, recruit, and retain the best talent? Every business, I don't care if you're heavy metal, I don't care if you're transportation, is a people business. And all of us spend a huge amount of our revenue on our employees. And so taking a step back, and in our vernacular we talk about total rewards. So what is it that you're going to spend, and how are you going to allocate that compensation piece? And workers' comp is a part of that. And how are you going to manage and help your employees with their wellness? And how does that fit with how you're communicating these costs to your employees? It all has to be part of an approach to holding on to people that ultimately make your product. And what that's done is, I think, elevated all of our games. The new legislation in the United States in particular, I think, has made it almost impossible for the small benefits consulting firm to survive. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, for my firm it's a good thing. For our customers, maybe it's not a great thing. But in that whole world of looking at everything you do for your employee and what attaches them to you is the way we have to look at it. Where we see our growth coming from really is through 4 activities. We're very focused on trying to do 4 things, and these things have not changed in 25 years. The first is organic growth. And what that means is you can't grow if you got a hole in the bucket, right? So you've got to take care of your clients. And when you take a look at our mission statement, our clients are our #1 stakeholder. And you got to add new clients. So we have to be doing creative things every day to attract people to us. Now, if you think about most of the developed world, most clients out there have a broking relationship. Most of them are pretty satisfied with that broking relationship. So we have to bring something new to them that says, hey, look at me. You know, you think you're satisfied, but maybe there's something more I can do. So organic growth is #1. Secondly, we're very active with mergers and acquisitions. And our goal is to find the best operators that are very successful, who have a compatible culture, and we spend 90% of our due diligence on culture, and get them to join Gallagher. The third thing we're looking at every day is how do we raise our quality make our game better, become more productive, and increase our margins. And then lastly, the thing for us that makes all that work is we believe we have a very unique and different culture, and we want to work very hard as a management team to maintain that. If we do that, then the growth trajectory that we're on, which is second to none in the industry, will be something that we can continue for many, many years.
For more of our coverage of the 2015 RIMS conference in New Orleans, visit the RIM TV On Demand library.